So somebody wrote, I caught a felony 20 years ago and can't get a gun. What can I do? It's a good question. Not enough information for me to give a very specific answer, number one. Number two, I'm not an attorney. This is not legal advice. Anything, legal needs to go through a properly licensed attorney, et cetera, et cetera. It's a bummer because basically this person's saying that, hey, 20 years ago, and they didn't specify what the felony was, but it was probably a nonviolent felony. It was probably maybe a drug charge or something like that. Sometimes people are charged with a felony and it's not even illegal anymore and they lose their gun rights. So I got to tell you, let me know what you think about this. Put this in the comment section if you're watching this on YouTube, because I'm really curious to hear what people think about this. But right now, if you're either a felon or you're not. And if you're a felon, you're a prohibited person. And there are really very few ways to become a prohibited person beyond being a felony. Like if you are dishonorably discharged from the military, you are a prohibited person, which means you can't own a firearm. But for the most part, the only real way to become, the most common way for sure to become a prohibited person, someone that can't own a gun, is to be a felon. But not all felonies are created equal. There are violent felonies, there are nonviolent felonies. There's all kinds of different ways to become a felon. And I'm curious, do you think that someone who is convicted of a nonviolent felony, they extorted money or some kind of white collar crime or something like that, and they served their time, et cetera, they're out on after they've served their time, they've proven to be a good person since, but they still have this nonviolent felony on their record. Do you think that person should still be a prohibited person? I don't know if I think that they should. What do you think, Alicia? Do you think a nonviolent felon, should they be able to own a gun?
I think it's definitely a topic that should be revisited. I mean, I honestly, I can't personally say that I think it should be blanket nonviolent. You should be allowed. Because I think, and I would imagine that part of the argument is going to be that if you commit a crime to that level, shows poor judgment on your part. Truly,
I think you're right. But I can't tell you how many people I've run into who, sold some pot in 1982. Right. And it's like, now we look at that like, sold some pot. I mean, there are pot dispensaries all over the place now.
They were just ahead of their time.
They were just ahead of their time, right? So should that person, here's the thing.
Right.
I have no fear of someone who sold some pot in 1982, having a gun. They shouldn't lose their right to keep and bear arms. They shouldn't lose their right to self-defense. I tend to think that, but I can be convinced, it's not just a right, it's a responsibility. So if somebody abuses that, I get it. But for the most part, I think once you served your time and you've proven you're a stand-up person, and maybe you made a mistake, but
you can earn it back.
Now you're on the other side.
I agree with that.
Anyway, if you are a felon, that's not this person's question. Went on a little tangent there. If you are a felon, and for whatever it is, and however long ago it was, what you need to do is you need to go talk to an attorney and see what can be done. I'm not an expert, but I know there are ways there are things that can be done so that you are no longer a prohibited person if you have a felony on your record. No guarantees. I don't know much more than that. But call an attorney. We talk about some of the attorneys that you can call. John Dillon, sponsor of the show. Fantastic guy. Check him out. I know he's dealt with stuff like this before, so that's what you should do. But make sure you get the right attorney. Attorney. It's kind of like a doctor. You don't want a podiatrist, doing your brain surgery, right? I mean, they both went to medical school. They're both smart and respectable people, but you want to make sure that you have an attorney who's experienced with firearms and is experienced with, people that are trying to get rid of a felony, I guess.
So my neighbor who's a divorce attorney is going to give me a good deal isn't probably the way to go?
Correct. That's probably not. I mean, probably not. But you know what? The guy that you go to talk about your felony, you don't want him handling your divorce.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Very true.
It's not, they just have specialties, all it is. Hey, everybody, thanks for watching. I'm Michael from Gun Owners Radio. If you liked what you saw, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and make a comment. Help us out. Go to gunownersradio.com. Thanks for watching.